In the BTTH. If one were to ask who Yao Lao hated the most in his life, some might say it was the backstabbing expert, Han Feng, or perhaps Protector Wu, who once captured Yao Lao and brought him to the Hall of Souls for torment. However, compared to the Yao clan elder, Yao Wangui, these two were hardly worth mentioning. This is because if that man hadn't twisted right and wrong to expel Yao Lao from the clan back then, Yao Lao would never have suffered the tragic fate of losing his home and family. Of course, without Yao Wangui, Xiao Yan would never have met Yao Lao, much less become a Dou Emperor Supreme, at the age of 37, and Yao Lao would never have later become the ancestor of the Yao clan. Unfortunately, although Yao Wangui was eventually beaten half to death by Xiao Yan, he did not die at their hands and was, in a way, somewhat redeemed. Today, let's talk about Yao Wangui, the Yao clan elder who indirectly helped Xiao Yan become a Dou Emperor. To speak of this man, one must mention the grudge between him and Yao Lao. As everyone knows, although Yao Lao was born in the Yao clan, one of the 8 ancient clans, he was not from the direct bloodline. Thus, his life was not privileged, it was, in fact, quite humble. Yao Lao's father was an iron guard of the Yao clan, who died at the hands of the Han clan, during a mission when Yao Chen, Yao Lao's real name, was very young. This is one of the reasons why Yao Lao harbors such deep hatred for the Han clan. Afterward, Yao Lao's mother single-handedly raised him by collecting medicinal herbs. Yao Lao did not disappoint her, displaying astonishing talent in alchemy from a young age. He had hoped to win first place in the assessment competition with his skills to improve their living conditions, but he inadvertently threatened the interests of certain clan members. If Yao Lao wasn't present, Yao Wangui's younger brother would have taken first place. Therefore, Yao Wangui secretly intervened, swapping one of the medicinal ingredients while Yao Lao was refining a pill. This not only caused Yao Lao to lose the top spot, but Yao Wangui, unwilling to let such a genius threaten his brother's talent, used his authority over punishments in the clan to falsely accuse Yao Lao of cheating and expel him. Yao Wangui's cruelty didn't stop there. As Yao Lao was leaving, he secretly sent guards to assassinate him. Fortunately, after a life-and-death struggle, Yao Lao managed to escape. His mother, unable to bear the immense shock, passed away a few years later in sorrow. Later, although Yao Lao made a name for himself as Do Venerate Yao, through his cultivation talent, he had completely severed ties with the Yao clan in his heart. The Yao clan had tried to invite him back, but he flatly refused. The only lingering attachment he had was the desire to have his parents' names carved onto the ancestral tablet. This was his way of honoring his deceased parents, as only those who had made great contributions to the Yao clan were qualified to have their names recorded there. The first reunion between Yao Lao and Yao Wangui occurred when Yao Lao was helping Xiao Yan subdue the purifying demonic lotus flame in the demonic flame plains. By then, thanks to the demonic saint's essence blood Xiao Yan had given him, Yao Lao had advanced from a high-level semisage to a 1-star Dou saint. Xiao Yan was already a 2-star Dou saint with a soul at the heavenly realm perfection level. Yao Wangui's strength was at the early 4-star Dou saint stage. Before he could say anything, Yao Qian, the most outstanding member of the Yao clan's younger generation, mocked Yao Lao, "At such an old age, you're only a 1-star Dou saint with a soul at the late heavenly realm." This crossed Xiao Yan's bottom line. He retorted that someone with such pathetic strength dared to call himself a prodigy of the Yao clan, and then proceeded to pin Yao Qian to the ground with his 2-star Dou saint power. Yao Wangui intended to use his 4-star Dou saint strength to bully the younger generation, but he backed down after seeing that Zi Yang and the Jiyu clan elder Jiyu Nanhai were also 4-star Dou saints. After Xiao Yang successfully subdued the purifying demonic lotus flame, his cultivation skyrocketed from a 2-star to a mid-level 5-star Do Saint. This coincided with the Yao clan's pill ceremony. The invitation that Yao Tian had asked Xiao Yan to deliver to Yao Lao was the entry pass for this event. Yao Lao initially didn't want to return to that painful place, but Xiao Yan was determined to go with him to settle old scores. Upon entering the Yao clan, they ran into Yao Wangui. It seemed the Yao clan was completely out of touch with the outside world. By this time, Xiao Yan was not only a 5-star Do Saint, but had also become famous throughout the continent after defeating the Hall of Souls master, Humiliating. Even random attendees of the pill ceremony knew this, yet Yao Wangui was oblivious. He immediately sneered at Yao Lao, an outcast, asking how he had the face to return. However, the Xiao Yan of today was not the same. Without wasting words, he struck Yao Wangui with a single punch, beating him half to death. It was only when the 6-star Do Saint elder, Yao Wanhua, intervened and pleaded for mercy that Xiao Yan spared the old man's life. After all, this was the Yao clan's territory. Killing Yao Wangui would surely lead to endless trouble. Furthermore, Yao Wanhua had sentenced Yao Wangui to half a year of seclusion, giving Xiao Yan a way to back down gracefully. Later, Xiao Yan successfully refined a 9th-grade mysterious pill at the pill ceremony, becoming the undisputed #1 alchemist of the Do Chi continent. As his teacher, Yao Lao also fulfilled his wish and carved his parents' names onto the ancestral tablet. However, just as the ceremony ended, the void-swallowing flame, a 9-star Do Saint, led the Hun clan's 4 demon saints, 7-star Do Saints, to launch a war of extermination against the Yao clan. The strongest forces of the Yao clan were only the remnant soul of the Yao emperor, equivalent to an 8-star Do Saint, and the clan head Yao Dan, a 7-star Do Saint. Faced with such an overwhelming disparity in power, Yao Dan and countless clan members chose self-detonation to create an escape path. In the end, Xiao Yan and Yao Lao set aside their old grudges and rescued a portion of the Yao clan's geniuses, including Yao Tian. Facing the life-and-death crisis of his clan, Yao Wangui also chose self-detonation without hesitation. Yao Lao never expected that by simply returning to carve his parents' names on the tablet, he would inadvertently become the Yao clan's new ancestor. As for Yao Wangui, although he had expelled Yao Lao out of selfish blindness, he still knew what was truly important when his entire clan faced annihilation. It could be said that internal conflicts are one thing, but when an external enemy is at the gates, we must stand united. If one had to describe Yao Wangui in a single sentence, it would be, he had a conscience, but not much of one. This video will end here.